presented by the 2018 Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to Toronto and Rogers Center. Once again, the roof is closed as it is hot outside this holiday Monday. Ron Gardenhire's team came back and they snapped an 11-game losing streak yesterday. They won 9-1 on 13 hits. Today they have a couple of new players in their lineup. Mikey Matuk is back from AAA. He's hitting leadoff in place of Leonis Martin, and Nick Castellanos has had a big series. He is fourth for their team with a pair of home runs, including a grand slam. And how about their first baseman, John Hicks? Since he's getting regular playing time, he's getting some good at-bats and coming up with some productive hits for the Tigers.
This is a good team against left-handed starters, and that's who they face this afternoon for his second big league start, Ryan Borucki. There are the numbers in that first start down in Houston. 6 innings, just 2 earned runs. He was coming off of his first shutout of the season at Pawtucket before he made that start down in Houston. And let's not forget, he began last season in A-ball in Dunedin for the Blue Jays, and here he is in the big leagues.
Here's the first pitch of the game. It is cut on and fouled off the catcher, Mikey Matuk, just back from AAA Buffalo. Matuk took over for the injured center fielder, Leonis Martin, who injured a hamstring, legging out an infield hit yesterday. The changeup, and Borucki quickly hit 0-2.
Now finish him off. Don't waste any time. Mikey Matuk has some time in the big leagues, and he is a free swinger. 8 home runs while he was down in AAA in 53 games.
Another changeup and a good start for Borucki. He strikes out Matuk, and that'll bring Nick Castellanos to the plate.
Well, we have been talking all series long about the power that he has to all fields, but mostly to right field. Jay Happ's got the bases loaded, first pitch swinging deep to right field. It's his second grand slam in this ballpark against the Blue Jays. That one was the big blow. The grand slam opened that game up, made it 5-1 at the time. And Castellanos, he is a good young hitter.
Castellanos takes the first pitch down the stairs. He's really a nightmare for left-handed pitchers. He's got the highest batting average in the majors against lefty pitching. Hitting .310 for the season. Borucki's always had a lot of confidence in his changeup, and so far it served him well to the first 2 batters he's faced.
He throws 2 types of changeup. One, it's a get-me-over type of changeup that he has that he can throw over the count at any time. Then he's got a little bit better one with some more movement that he uses for strikeouts. It gets a little bit more movement down and away.
That's going to be a base hit as it drops out in right field. Randall Grichuk will play it on a hop, and Castellanos has his 5th hit of the series. Defensively in the outfield, Hernandez, Pilar, and Grichuk, they've all played very well defensively, and Lourdes Gurriel back from AAA Buffalo.
Yeah, just 12 starts at second base in his big league career, but will play at second base mostly. He will alternate between second base and shortstop the rest of the way. They want him to play. They want him to get at bats. You'll see his name penciled in a lot now between second base and shortstop.
Jeimer Candelario, a switch hitter, batting right-handed against Borucki. Candelario hit 3rd in the lineup yesterday. He had a tough day. He was 0 for 5. Struck out 3 times and hit into a double play. Line drive into center. Here comes Pilar. He has to play it on a hop. Keeps it in front of him. So back-to-back base hits for the Tigers. And we told you they could hit against lefty pitching.
Yeah, they're doing it again today. 2 straight hits. And if not the play by Pilar, this could have been dangerous. Again, you got to make your decision very quickly. He comes in, and watch how he gives up his body just to keep that ball in front of him. He has no idea where this ball is going to bounce off the carpet. So he says, you know what, I'll take it in the shoulder, take it in the bicep, but I got to keep that ball in front of me. That's a heck of a play.
So now John Hicks, who has had a good series against the Blue Jays. This is what I like about Borucki. Gives up back-to-back singles and then comes and throws strike 1 to the next batter.
We saw that down in Houston, didn't we? We saw some poise. He was a little anxious and got a little out of whack early in that game where he's flying open. He was missing to his arm side, fastballs away, but he was able to show the poise and show the ability to get back into the strike zone with his mechanics.
The Blue Jays turned 3 double plays in the game yesterday. They could use one right here. Line drive to left field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Castellanos had to hold. He went halfway, as he wasn't sure if that was going to land safely in left. So 3 straight singles for the Tigers.
That one wasn't hit very hard, and unfortunately for the Blue Jays, it wasn't hit hard because Castellanos, right off the end of the bat, had to hold up. There's the changeup grip. He had to hold up to see if Teoscar was going to come in and make the catch. You can still get out of this with a ground ball. You got the right guy at the plate.
Victor Martinez, the batter, he grounded into a double play in the 8th inning of yesterday's game. So 3 straight singles after a strikeout of the leadoff man. Hicks hitting .327, facing, this is Martinez, who is a switch hitter as well. Hicks had a single. He's hitting .327 coming into this game against lefty pitching. A lot of those numbers were put up earlier in his career. He didn't have the same power he did in the prime of his career, but he's got a good eye.
Yeah, he will work over that pitcher, work the count, try and get into a position to get a fastball that he can hit. He has struggled lately to hit and to drive in runs. No home runs, 4 RBIs in 26 games for the month in June. He hasn't had an RBI in his past 12 games.
Good fastball, 93 in a good spot. Luke Maile is catching Borucki. The first game, it was Russ Martin behind the plate for Ryan. Maile making his 35th start of the season back behind the plate. There's another base hit to right. Grichuk coming in, and they stop the runner at third as Castellanos comes in to score. 4 straight singles for the Tigers against Borucki.
Well, they're putting up good at bats because I think very early they got the alert that he's got a good changeup and he'll throw it at any point in the count. So they're staying back and they're not necessarily looking for it, but they're expecting pitches away and changeups away. That's a fastball down and away, and you can see Victor, who's always been a good hitter with plate coverage, rips that ball to right field to pick up his first RBI in 12 games.
So Pete Walker, the pitching coach, out to have a chat with Borucki. This is James McCann, the catcher. McCann batting .230 for the season. He goes after the first pitch. You know, Borucki has a chance to minimize the damage here if he can get a ball on the ground and get a double play to get out of the inning. Just off the plate inside. Ryan made 13 starts in AAA for Buffalo. He was 6-5 with a .327 earned run average.
I think that inside fastball can be very big today. He's got to be able to put it in there to make that changeup effective. They wanted to go inside, but he missed his spot.
But he still had enough life and velocity on that fastball to get the swing and miss. 1-2 now. Bases are loaded. A run in for the Tigers. 1 run on 4 hits so far. when the Blue Jays are evaluating their minor league pitchers, they always look at swing and miss percentage. How many pitches does he throw that hitters just don't make contact on? Ground ball. Borucki will come home for one. Bailey to first. There's the double play. So Ryan Borucki again shows his confidence and advanced maturity. Never panicked. Got the comebacker. The 1-2-3 double play to get out of the first. Play in the big leagues. That's Ray Borucki in the middle, and his wife Jackie fanning herself after a pressure-packed first inning from the seats. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. They're 39-44. They lost 9-1 yesterday, trying to bounce back today. Kendrys Morales, boy, over his last 19 games, the bat has come around, hitting .316. And Kevin Pilar, he's got a mini 5-game hit streak, 7 for his last 18 with a double. Pilar has 25 doubles. He has an RBI and a walk in that stretch of 18 at-bats. They will take on Mike Fiers, as this is a chance for the Blue Jays to win this series today.
Stymied yesterday by Jordan Zimmerman, the veteran right-hander. Here's another veteran right-hander, Mike Fiers, 5-5, 404 earned run average. He's coming off 7 strong innings in his last start versus Oakland, but he took that loss, just giving up 1 run on 5 hits. He is familiar with the Blue Jays. He's faced them 6 times in his career, including 2 starts last year.
Fiers originally with the Milwaukee Brewers. He has spent time in Milwaukee, Houston, and now Detroit. Anderson goes after the pitch and dribbles it up the first baseline. That's going to stay foul. You can see the Tigers, they're wearing their 4th of July uniforms. It is Holiday Monday here in Canada, and Wednesday will be 4th of July, so they get an opportunity to wear these uniforms. They will go from here to Chicago to play the Cubs in interleague play for 2 games. Now they are sporting those fancy 4th of July alternate uniforms. Of course, the Blue Jays had those beautiful red uniforms yesterday. I love those.
Yes. Yeah, everything red for the Jays.
Curveball bounced out in front of home. Fiers goes to first. Granderson's retired. Defensively, the Tigers have had to shuffle the deck a bit with the injury to their starting center fielder, Leonis Martin.
Yeah, their depth took a hit yesterday with the injury to Leonis Martin, who went on the disabled list with some hamstring problems, but they have a major league ready player. That's Mikey Matuk, just called up. He has been in the big leagues before with Tampa Bay and with Detroit. He can play all 3 outfield positions this afternoon. He is in left field for Detroit. Good defender in the outfield.
Very good defender. Exceptional in left. This is Randall Grichuk. There's Leonis Martin. He had that bunt with 2 outs and the bases loaded to jumpstart that 5-run inning yesterday. But up the line, hustling to beat out that bunt, he felt the hamstring issue. This is in the air, down the right side, foul territory, as Nico Goodrum makes a nice running catch in foul ground. Goodrum's had a nice series here in Toronto.
Yeah, now defensively, he's been really good offensively. He was the only guy who I think had a shot at making this catch. Hicks, the first baseman, going back. You can see he's backwards. He's not going to be able to make that catch. Much better angle for Goodrum to come over. He calls off his first baseman. He's got the pop-up priority and hauls it in for out number 2.
Yeah, Hicks did a good thing. He heard Goodrum call for it, and he tried to give him as much room as he could. 2 outs. And Ervis Solarte, the third baseman, goes after the first pitch and hits it in the air. Routine fly ball for Castellanos. It took Mike Fiers just 6 pitches to retire the side in order.
Many in baseball are calling the catch of the year after he climbed the center field wall to rob Nicholas Castellanos of a sure home run. Catches like that, Pilar told me, come down to pure instinct. You can't rehearse those. You can't practice those. The more you do it, the more confident you have in your ability to get to any ball hit in your direction. According to Pilar, the fact the ball was hit really high in the air means he had the time to gauge where the wall was, had the time to plant his foot into the wall. He only hoped he generated enough momentum to propel himself over the wall. From there, you have to let your athletic abilities take over, Buck. Luck did have a little something to do with it, he tells me. But if you can track the ball, then the wall starts sizing up that leap, keep under control, then he says, quote, I can definitely make the catch.
Well, it was a beauty, that's for sure. And you saw Castellanos. He was appreciative of the effort. Nico Goodrum goes after the first pitch and grounds out to third base.
What do you mean you don't practice that at all? I mean, you've seen 8 or 9-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids. They're always jumping up against the wall trying to make that catch.
And not only do they practice it, they announce it themselves. There's a fly ball to center. Kevin Pilar back at the wall. He jumps. He makes the catch.
That's all my kids wanted me to do to them, is throw the ball up against the wall so they can act like Pilar.
Absolutely. Been doing that since you could walk. Castellanos and Pilar have played against each other throughout their careers, and this is before the game. Castellanos, we saw him applaud the effort, and then they got into a conversation about defensive plays. It was pretty interesting. Another ground ball to third. Castellanos is a converted third baseman who has moved to the outfield, and Pilar's been a center fielder his whole life. And this was pretty interesting, the conversation they had about the mechanics.
Yeah, remember the catch that Castellanos had in the game the other day where he felt like he turned the wrong way and had to readjust? It looks like he's asking Pilar about that. It's easier to turn but pick up the ball the other way. You can't go that way to try and catch it. That ball's slicing on you. Castellanos started in the outfield after he moved from third base right here in this ballpark. This is a tough ballpark for an outfielder if you're not used to it to play. You got to deal with the lights that are different, the roof that's different, coming out of the stands a little bit different.
Of course, you don't mind Pilar giving Castellanos tips at this point of the season. This is the last time these two teams will play one another this year. But I understand they will open up against the Tigers right here at Rogers Center next season. But when you have an opportunity to pick someone's brain about what they do, whether it's at the plate or in the field, you certainly want to take that opportunity.
Yeah, first step is always important. He's talking about that first step right there. Turn your body. You want to be able to turn your body to get yourself into a good throwing position, be able to get a good jump on the ball. Turn your body, get in a good athletic position to make that play.
How about a bounce back inning for Ryan Borucki? He was able to minimize the damage of 4 hits, just a single run. Needs 8 pitches to set down the side in order.
Sundays presented by Boston Pizza. Watch your Blue Jays take on the New York Yankees at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. Join us pregame outside gates 5 and 10 for inflatables, activities, and lots of fun. After the ball game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. For tickets, visit bluejays.com. Buck.
Thank you, Hazel. Another good opportunity for the youngsters to come out and enjoy a day game on this holiday Monday. That's a high pop-up again in foul ground, almost a carbon copy of that play before, but this time it'll be Castellanos making the catch. It was Nico Goodrum who caught the ball off the bat of Randall Grichuk. Now talk about kids coming out to the ballpark. It's a great ballpark, and you can see that youngster there has a Kevin Pilar action figure, I would assume, with a probably Kevin Pilar with his cape on, going up against the wall to catch.
And studying it.
Drive.
Just studying it, just looking at that. How cool is that? He is very popular with young kids. They love him.
Kendrys Morales takes the first pitch strike. Mike Fiers, he'll throw you a lot of fastballs, and he's not a guy that's going to light up the radar gun. In that regard, he's a little bit like Marco Estrada and Jay Happ.
You know what he's done? He's decreased his walk percentage this year, throwing more strikes, challenging hitters with everything that he has to offer, and he's got a lot of pitches to offer.
That high fastball jammed Morales. You know, there have been countless discussions about the merits of a 4-seam fastball and a 2-seam fastball, and it seems as though the shift is going back to the 4-seam fastball.
Got to use it. You have to be able to use that fastball. Looks like they're going to go up with the high fastball again. It accelerates when it comes across home plate. Hitters have a shorter time to react to it. It's truer. It stays true on the plate. So if you're ready to swing the bat, you got to make a decision if that ball's going to be a strike or it's going to fall off like a 2-seamer. A fastball, a 2-seam fastball away. As a hitter, you say that ball's moving away. It's off the plate. 4-seamer, it's going to stay true.
High fastball, you saw. McCann offered the curveball to Fiers, and he shook to the fastball, but he missed with that last pitch. You think Yogi Berra would have liked that chest protector?
I cannot picture him wearing
I can't imagine Yogi wearing that, huh? As a breaking ball pulled on the ground, and Goodrum from the outfield throws high, but in time to get Morales. So Kevin Pilar will bat with nobody on and 2 outs. He made that great catch yesterday. There's so many catches that you can remember over the years. This is his 6th season with the Blue Jays. He's playing in his 632nd game, and he's made a bunch of great catches.
We got to do one of those David Letterman
top
10 lists, starting from number 10.
We should ask him. I think that's probably the best way you can go about it. That's the footprint that he put on that fence. That's a fair ball. And McCann jumps on it quickly, and he'll tag out Pilar. That one went right off the end of the bat, of that cupped out bat, shattered the barrel and rolled up the line and stayed fair. That's when you know you've got nothing but bad luck working in this at bat. Big swing, and that little dribbler up the line. The barrel goes that way. The ball stays fair. The Blue Jays spring training cap on. He and his wife Jackie, the parents of Ryan Borucki, they're here. They saw the game in Houston, and Ray is a little bit calmer, it appears, today than he was for that debut in Houston. But Ray Borucki played in the minor leagues himself, so he understands what this means to his son. Ray played 5 seasons in the minor leagues. Started out with the Phillies and finished up with the Tigers. Actually played his final season in Double-A Birmingham in the Southern League with the Tigers in 1983. You're going to remember some of those players he played with. How about Bob Melvin and Dwight Lowry? A couple of catchers that played for the Tigers. Bob Melvin, of course, a great manager.
A couple of catchers. Those 2 guys you mentioned.
Carl Willis was on that team, the pitching coach for the Indians. Three and one now to Mikey Mattook. He struck out his first time up. That's a good pitch. Quality pitch.
He struck out on a changeup, and he's got him set up for another changeup right here, 3-2. After a couple of fastballs down and away, now give him your good changeup.
Strike 3 call. Look at that pitch on the inside corner. Mattook was looking for the changeup, couldn't pull the trigger. That inside hitter, he strikes out for a second time.
I'd be walking back to the dugout too. You have to establish inside when you have the kind of stuff Ryan Borucki has. Fastball, changeup, a little bit of a slider. Against righties, you have to be able to establish in there and throw it in there. They'll take it. And he took strike 3.
Castellanos fouls it off. Another quality strike from Borucki. First pitch changeup.
This guy's just a good hitter. He can handle all pitches. That was a breaking ball on the first pitch, and he swung at it like he knew it was coming. Either that or he saw it out of his hand. And I think Castellanos likes to hit in this ballpark. He's played 16 games here. He's hit 5 home runs.
Borucki's a hit 0-2 to Castellanos. There's a good breaking ball for a strikeout. A 3-pitch strikeout of one of the best hitters in the game against lefty pitching.
Introducing his breaking ball a little bit more now in the 3rd inning, maybe the 2nd time through. Trying to show it. This is the first time the Tigers have seen it, especially Castellanos, as he waves at it for the 2nd out.
Off the end of the bat. Little dribbler up the line. Borucki throws to Morales in time. Another quick inning for Ryan Borucki. He's pounding that strike zone.
From one of TD's community partners. Welcome, everybody. And it's a road that's unrelenting, unforgiving, unforgettable. The Tour de France, July 7th to the 29th on Sportsnet 1.
Mike Fiers has retired 6 in a row to start this ball game. Using a lot of fastballs, and Diaz is a good fastball hitter. Goes after the fastball, but pops it in the air. Fiers has had the Blue Jay hitter's timing just off a bit. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light MLB cans available now, featuring the Blue Jays, Red Sox, Yankees, Cubs, Mariners, and Expos.
You mentioned that Mike Fiers throws his share of 4-seam fastballs. In the American League, among starters, only Chris Sale has a higher first pitch 4-seam fastball strike percentage than Mike Fiers. Blue Jays know that. They're going up there swinging, but the timing is off just a little bit. A lot of pop-ups, a lot of easy fly balls the other way.
Well, the one thing Brooke Jacoby always reminds his hitters before the start of a game: get on the fastball. And so far, they haven't been able to catch up to it. Luke Maley batting .242 for the season. Here's another high fastball. That one's too high. You know, I think the foundation of any pitcher has to be his ability to command the four-seam fastball. If you command it to all the different quadrants of the strike zone, you can pitch. He goes upstairs again, just a little bit lower, and he gets the strikeout. That's his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, when you're throwing strikes with the four-seamer, you're putting the offensive team on the defensive. They have to go out there and be ready to swing, so you get a little bit higher in the strike zone. This is by design, this high fastball right here to pick up his first strikeout. But when you're throwing strikes, and he's throwing strikes.
There's another fastball. Gurriel hits it to right. Castellanos backs up but comes in and makes a good catch. Again, another quick inning for Fiers. 6 pitches in the bottom of the third.
League debut, but at times he thought his young left-hander rushed his delivery. He said he chalked that up to adrenaline and all the excitement that surrounds a big league debut. Today, Walker would like to see better fastball command, get ahead in counts, and utilize those secondary pitches. There's still going to be some nerves pitching in front of the hometown fans for the first time, but he's got to find a way to corral those emotions to get strike one. There's no doubt in Walker's mind Borucki has big league stuff. Now he's got to find that comfort level and show the same kind of composure he showed against a dangerous Astros lineup, Buck, and we saw that poise on the 1-2-3 double play there from Borucki to end the first inning.
He has certainly shown that, and we have heard it from the coaches and manager we've talked to at a minor league system about Borucki's personality. They say, first of all, he's going to compete. He's going to be prepared. He's not going to be intimidated, and he's going to throw it over. We have seen all those attributes early on.
Started last season in Dunedin. Started the 2017 season in Dunedin. Went up to Double-A then in July. And then made a couple of starts there and then up to Buffalo. That was at the end of August. Made a couple of starts in Triple-A.
He kept getting better and better each time he made the jump from league to league. He's had Tommy John surgery, had that after his first 6 games in the minors. Actually 6 innings he pitched his first year, and then had Tommy John surgery. And then a couple of years later in 15 he would go back and have bone chips taken out of his elbow. 1-2 to Hicks. Change up bounced in the dirt. You see, where's number 56? And that's significant, because he grew up on the north side of Chicago, but he was a south side Chicago fan. He loved Mark Burley, and that's Mark Burley's number, 56. And Borucki has a lot of those qualities. There's that changeup for another strikeout.
Really sold that one. And what I mean by that is the arm action sells that it's a fastball, but then you choke back on that pitch. Throw it in your fingers like he does like that. There's the movement, and you can see the timing at the plate is all messed up to John Hicks. You have to sell it with good arm action, and that's a good one.
8 in a row retired by Borucki now. And there's the first pitch curveball. Missed with that next breaking pitch.
You start catching these right-handed hitters looking out over the plate. That's when you can bust them inside with a fastball.
Changeup missed down and in. The Tigers are 12-9 against left-handed starters. And of course, they gave Jay Happ a loss yesterday. Borucki came back with a changeup and got the foul ball. Now this is, despite their record, this lineup is tough on left-handed pitching.
Yeah, they only hit .222 in the month of June. But it seems whenever a lefty gets out there, they turn into a different type of team offensively.
Well, right now, for me, Borucki has thrown 2 curveballs and changeups, and this is screaming for an inside fastball.
Maybe you can bring it back, that little comeback, swing back fastball in the inner half. Maybe you can lock up Victor Martinez.
There it is. Got him to pop it up. This is playable. Morales into foul ground. He is there and makes the catch. Good call by Luke Maley. Did a nice job setting up that pitch of decision.
Yeah, you go soft away, soft away. The hitter starts anticipating that ball over the plate. He starts leaning out over the plate looking for it. Remember where Martinez's last hit was? The other way. So they pounded him inside and got the out.
Two down. James McCann was batting with the bases loaded and 1 out in the first inning. And he bounced back to the mound for a 1-2-3 inning ending double play. That got Borucki out of a tough situation. Good curveball. We talk about a pitcher's presentation all the time. What's he look like on the mound? Well, in 2 games, Borucki looks like he's confident and anxious to throw the next pitch.
He hides the ball well. Talked to the Blue Jays, and they made a couple of changes when he was a young pitcher, helping him to hide the ball, and the fastball gets on these hitters. For some reason, they don't pick it up. You have to have 3 pitches, too. You can't go fastball changeup. You have to be able to mix something in there also to give those hitters something to think about. He's starting to use the breaking ball a little bit more.
Foul tip off of Maley. Another curveball. Home plate umpire gonna use the professional courtesy of walking the ball out toward the mound to give Maley a little time to regroup. That's Nick Lentz behind the plate today. You okay, pal? Yeah, I'm just great.
I gotta expect that. I'm a catcher. Breaking ball, those are the kind that really, they hit the top of it. And he hits it right into the ground and ricochets off of Maley. Luke's a tough guy. He knows that's what catching's all about.
Borucki with his 6th strikeout through 4 innings.
heritage. The greatest outdoor show on earth comes to Sportsnet. It's the Calgary Stampede on July 6th to 13th. Buck?
Well, that's one of those events that I would like to have an opportunity to go to. I think the Calgary Stampede would be a terrific way to spend a few days out west. First of all, I love Calgary. Secondly, it'd be great to see a rodeo again. But that is not a rodeo. That is the Calgary Stampede. That's the king of all rodeos.
So is that on your bucket list?
Yeah.
That's on the bucket list. The Buck bucket list.
The Buck bucket list. Oh, it's a long list. Back to the top of the order. Blue Jays looking for their first base runner. Curtis Granderson tapped back to the mound his first time up. What's new? Fiers throws a fastball for strike one.
His strike percentage is off the charts this afternoon.
Strike two. He has thrown 23 pitches, 21 strikes. That's pretty good.
And you've got a guy up there, Curtis Granderson. There's the strike percentage we were just talking about. You got a guy up there, Curtis Granderson, trying to work the pitcher. Wants to duck out of that one. He's always been a guy who will work the count. He will try and see as many pitches as possible. This one's just, boy, he does it textbook, ducking out of the way like that. Turn your shoulder in and turn your head. But he's behind because he's thrown so many strikes, and now he's going to get a hit.
Be a base hit. There's the first base runner for the Blue Jays. A two-strike infield base hit for Granderson. And Fiers went away from his strength. Looked like he threw kind of a sinking fastball that time, and Curtis was able to get to it.
You got to figure something down and away after the one up and in to push him off the plate. That 0-2 fastball up and in, and then down and away with an off-speed pitch. And the shift does in the Tigers.
So Granderson's aboard. Here's Randall Grichuk. He fouled out in foul territory his first time up. The Blue Jays have played very well lately at home. They won 10 of their last 12 home games. They lost yesterday, game 3 of this 4-game series. Off speed pitch. 1-1 now.
Looked like a changeup right there for Mike Fiers, and his changeup's a little bit different than Borucki's. His looks like a 3-finger changeup. The first 3 fingers, the index, the middle, and the ring finger. And you just choke it back in your fingers again and just take a little something off of it.
Called foul. This is the first time this season that Grichuk has hit in the 2 spot in the lineup. Recently, he's led off 3 different ball games. Spent most of the year down in the order. He hit 7th most of the time. But as he has been swinging the bat better, he's been working his way up in the lineup.
Great month of June for Randall Grichuk. Got to carry it through now. 8 home runs in June for Randall.
Two and 2 now. Fiers retired the first 9 he faced this afternoon before Curtis Granderson got the infield hit. Upstairs. 3 and 2 now.
Well, he's been around the plate. So you know he's going to throw a strike. This is where you want to start the runner if you want to. Gambling that Grichuk's going to make contact.
There goes Granderson. Foul back. He made contact. Randall Grichuk got off to a terrible start with the Blue Jays, but boy, he bounced back in June. When you look at the Blue Jays June OPS leaders, Grichuk's the leader of the pack.
800 is really, really good. He was close to 1,000. And with that effort, he was named the Honda Blue Jays Player of the Month.
Running again is a little looper down the left field line. If it's fair, it's a base hit. Granderson will go to third base as Grichuk puts one down the line. The thing about that was he got jammed, and because he got jammed, it didn't have any hook on it. So it stayed true and landed fair inside the line, down the left field line.
That'll help that OPS right there, a double down the left field line. They start the runner again over at first base. He swings away on that off-speed pitch, gets jammed, so he has to cut things down. Watch how the ball stays true right down the left field line. There's no hook to it, and it bounces safely for extra bases.
The Blue Jays have something going. Second and third, nobody out. Solarte swung at the first pitch, his first time up, and flied out to right. Borderline pitch on that first pitch. Detroit has a 1-0 lead. Blue Jays have a chance to erase that lead right here.
Get him over, get him in with one swing.
Good curveball from Fiers. Solarte batting .288 for the Saints with runners in scoring position. Oh, 2 pitch. Well, he cut that ball. Ran it inside, just missed inside. He's got some weapons, but his entire philosophy is focused around the fastball.
That's right. The four-seam fastball where I can get ahead and then maybe expand with all those other pitches. He's got a cutter, he's got a splitter, a slider, a curve, the fastball. But you have to get ahead to make them work.
Fastball popped up into center field. Iglesias makes an over-the-shoulder catch. What an effort by the shortstop. He was the only guy that had a chance to make a catch, and he knew it. A determined run to the outfield and an over-to-the-shoulder catch.
Game 1 of this series, we highlighted him on defense because he's a magician with that glove, and he showed you why right there. This is a lot like Omar Vizquel. Vizquel used to love to make these types of catches over his shoulder, and then the wherewithal to get the ball back into the infield quickly to keep that runner at third base.
Yeah, as soon as he catches it, he's thinking about holding Granderson at third. He gets the ball on its way toward home. It's a big play for the Tigers. Teoscar Hernandez, he flying out in foul territory, his first time up. Little chopper that's going to score a run. Iglesias will have to go to first, and Granderson comes in, and it's a tie ball game. So Hernandez will pick up the RBI, his 34th of the season. With the infield back, he put the ball in play, and Granderson comes in to score.
If you're the Tigers, you can't bring your infield in. It's too early in the ball game. With a runner at third base and less than 2 outs, you have to play the percentages and play deep. Teoscar is going to take advantage of that to pick up the RBI, his 34th of the season, by just tapping that ball to shortstop, keeping it in the middle of the diamond, and tying up this ball game.
Henrys Morales now with Grichuk at third.
I was out at batting practice today around the cages, and the Blue Jays had optional hitting today. Kendricks is one of the players that came out. He spent the whole first two rounds hitting everything the other way. Louis Rivera kept telling him, hey, they shift on you. There's one defender on the left side of the infield. He's saying, keep your head down and take a couple of shots that way. You might pick up an RBI. He's got one guy to beat on the left side. And I'm telling you, it was like clockwork. His first 4 swings were base hits to left field.
Bounced into dirt. Gutschik did a nice job of coming down the third baseline. And just as Fiers began his windup, Gutschik took an extra hop toward home. He may have distracted Fiers a bit. Bounced it in the dirt.
You know, as soon as I say that, they're starting to straighten out their defense. Now Iglesias is trying to help out on the left side of the infield.
Fiers takes a long time to get the pitch he wants. Hot shot. Goodrum is in the outfield. Takes his time. Morales hit it hard, but the shift gets him. But the Blue Jays tie it. They score a run on 2 hits and RBI for Hernandez. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. For minor leagues, but don't believe that the Blue Jays don't have any prospects down there, and they are starting to get loaded with young starting pitchers, and these are 3 of the top ones they have in the minors.
Sean Reed Foley has made it up to Buffalo. He's going to pitch tonight. He's 9-2 of 301. TJ Zoik was a first-round draft pick just a couple of years ago. He's in Double-A at just 22. Nate Pearson was just drafted last year. He's 21. He has a broken arm. He's out. He's going to come back in the month of September and probably go to instructional league.
Nico Goodrum hits a fly ball that Kevin Pilar runs down. Borucki really pounding that strike zone. He had a rough inning in the first, but it could have been much worse. After striking out Mikey Matuk, he gave up 4 straight singles and had a bases loaded 1-out situation, then got a double play, and hasn't allowed a base runner since.
You know what I like about that is those 4 hits. I think Castellanos' hit was the only one that was really squared up and hit hard. There was a couple balls off the bat. He broke one bat, and you know, he stayed right in there. He didn't get upset that, you know, hey, it's not my day, things aren't working out for you. He came back and he's starting to make some pitches.
And he's making a lot of them right down. Ryan Borucki grew up in the north side of Chicago, Mundelein, Illinois. And he makes quick work of Jose Iglesias. That's 7 strikeouts now for Borucki.
He just struck out a guy that is really hard to strike out.
13th time he has struck out this year.
That's it. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. Yeah, just the 13th time this season that Iglesias has gone down, and it took 3 pitches.
Jacoby Jones was called out on strikes his only time up. I tell you what happens when you have a pitcher like Borucki throwing a lot of strikes. He's going to get borderline calls. Everything he's throwing is around the strike zone. Foul back. Just a quick look to see what the count is. One and two. Got him. He went after that breaking ball. How about 8 strikeouts for Borucki through 5 innings against the best hitting ball club against left-handed pitching?
Not just because it was Canada Day, but because it paid tribute to the Canadian Armed Forces and the policemen who were on the scene at that horrific van attack in Toronto earlier this year. Axford said that when he spoke to Constable Ken Lamb, the officer who arrested the suspect, he tried to put himself in his shoes, knowing it had to take discipline, courage, and the wherewithal to not discharge his firearm in that situation. He was emotional thinking all about that and felt compelled to personally thank all of the men in uniform for what they go through in order to protect us all.
It's a great reminder for everybody that there are people out there that put their lives on the line every single day for our well-being. And John Axford was good in acknowledging all those men and women that were here yesterday. It was a great celebration. One ball game. It'll be Pilar, Diaz, and Bailey facing Mike Fiers. And interesting now, watch Fiers says he came out firing nothing but fastballs, and now he's going to mix a few more breaking balls in as these hitters are facing him for a second and third time. Foul. You know, you talk about fastball command, and I'll never forget a conversation Pat Gillick had with the great Hall of Famer Juan Marichal at Cooperstown. And Pat always said, Juan, how did you command so many pitches? You must have had 5 or 6 pitches. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Marichal said, excuse me, Pat, but I had 12 pitches. He goes, 12 pitches? He goes, yeah. He said, I had 6 fastballs. He said, fastball up, fastball in, fastball away. Middle, in and away. Down, in and away. There's 6 pitches right there.
Right there with 1 pitch.
Kevin Pilar behind 0-2. Another fly ball. This is trouble if it gets fair. Get down ball, and it's foul.
And I think we're seeing that this afternoon with Mike Fiers. Now he's moving that fastball around. Right now he's trying to go upstairs to get Pilar to chase. Kevin's fouled off a couple of tough high fastballs. Go down, down and in, down and away.
And then when you become established and a little more sophisticated, you start changing speeds on those fastballs. Just like that, 85 miles an hour strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Fiers.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It is a gorgeous Canada Day weekend here in Toronto. It is a little warm outside, so to make it comfortable, they've kept the roof closed for all 3 day games. Aledmus Diaz. He flied out to right field his first time up. High and deep. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get up. And off the wall, and Mikey Matuk catches it. He kind of got jammed, didn't get full extension on that swing, but it looked like it had a chance to get out of here, and it didn't.
That's a good outfielder right there. He can play all 3 outfield positions. His best position might be center field. Today he's in left field, and he's going to take extra bases away from Aledmus Diaz. The ball got in on him just a little bit, maybe a half an inch, and that's what kept it in the ballpark. And Matuk finds the wall, times his jump, and takes away extra bases.
Luke Maley.
When you are called upon, he just came up from the minor leagues, you got to do something to help your team win a game. His best attribute as a baseball player might be his glove.
Yeah, he's a very good defender. As you said, he can play all 3 outfield positions. He played at LSU down in Baton Rouge. Played his college baseball there. Good baseball program. That's curveball. It drops in there for strike 2. Maley struck out on a high fastball back in the 3rd inning. Strikes out again. Couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Fiers, who will go to the 6th. It's a 1-1 game.
Access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Good holiday Monday crowd here at Rogers Center. And it's a pretty nice place to be on a hot Monday afternoon, holiday Monday. Good time to start the game at 1 o'clock, and after the game, people can venture outside when it's a little bit cooler, enjoy the rest of their day off. 1-1 game. We're in the 6th. Brian Borucki has retired 13 in a row. He also has 8 strikeouts. Mikey Matuk struck out twice so far today. The 8 strikeouts significant for Borucki. 8 strikeouts through 5 innings. The Blue Jays' rookie record for strikeouts in a game is 11. 4 different pitchers have recorded 11 strikeouts in a game as a rookie. Jose Nunez did it in 1987. 8 innings, 11 strikeouts. There's another good changeup. So Jose Nunez David Bush, David Percy, and Scott Richmond have all recorded 11 strikeouts in a game in their rookie seasons. Borucki has 8. Little chopper. Borucki's going to have to make a play. Matuk runs well. That'll snap a streak of 13 straight retired by Borucki. A little swinging bunt up the third baseline.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. No chance for anybody to make that play. The catcher couldn't get out there. With 2 strikes, the third baseman is back. The only guy who had a chance was Ryan himself. And I think he did the right thing. I think not throwing the ball, trying to make something where there's nothing there, was the right play. You're not going to throw out Matuk at first base. So he just holds on to the baseball and says, okay, now I need a ground ball.
Matuk is 2 for 2 in steal attempts this season. Boy, again, I can't tell you how impressed I am. Something happens, an infield hit, a walk, but the next pitch he comes right back and gets ahead of the next batter.
That might be
a huge asset.
The influence of his father, who played a little pro baseball. You know, hey, don't get too wrapped up and too worried about an infield hit. You got to come back and face the next guy. You got a tough customer in Nicholas Castellanos, the best hitter in baseball, versus left-handed pitching.
He struck him out last time. Ball on the strike with Matuk at first. Ground ball. This should be 2. Gurriel to Diaz, a high throw, and Gurriel let that ball play him a bit. He got back on his heels, and by the time he flipped it, it was off line to Diaz, and all I can get is that lead runner at second.
Yeah, that was the mistake right there. He's got to come and get that ball. The faster you can field it, the faster you can get it to your double play partner, and he laid back. See how he backed up, and then that just messed up the whole timing of the double play. Playing second base today, and Diaz understands once you give ground like that and you have a high throw, there's no chance. Let me just get the out at second base, but that should have been a double play.
1 out. Jeimer Candelario had a blue base hit in the first inning. Just a little booper that dropped in front of Kevin Pilar in center. Again, Borucki back with a strike. It's 1-1. Gurriel was out early this morning working defensively with Luis Rivera and making some adjustments at second. He's more comfortable right now at short. But again, that ball played him a little bit, and I'm sure that there'll be conversations about it. He's very talented and eager to work.
Oh, yes. Yeah, out here very early to get some ground balls off the bat of that man right there, the infield instructor of the Blue Jays, Luis Rivera, and he'll probably tell him, be aggressive, come and get that ball. Wasn't hit that sharply.
That's a line drive base hit down the right field line. Grichuk over to cut it off, and he'll make a good throw to second to keep Candelario at first and keep the double play in order.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
It looked like Jeimer Candelario had it in his mind, that whole at bat, to try to go to right field. Hit one through that hole on the right side. He gets it over the head of Morales, sends Castellanos to third base, and that's where that double play not being turned becomes even more important.
John Hicks, 1 for 2. Fly ball. That's going to be out of play. Third time through the order for the Tigers lineup against Borucki, and they're in a swing mode. They understand Borucki throws a lot of strikes, so Ryan can use that to his advantage. Expand the strike zone a bit now. Curveball. Going to be a tough ball to turn 2 on, and they won't. Now Castellanos comes in to score, And Pat, boy, you look back to that first double play opportunity that has allowed the Tigers to score. They couldn't turn two on the ground ball by Castellanos.
Yeah, and it cost him a run. Hicks is going to pick up an RBI with the slow roller, taps it against the curveball. Breaking ball, 2 hops, and no chance for Gurriel. Even with his really good arm at second base, no chance. Hicks runs better than you think down the first base line, especially when you're hunting for an RBI.
Tigers with a 2-1 lead. Victor Martinez had an RBI single in the first. First pitch outside for ball 1. Right out in the corner. Ground ball. Diaz will go across the diamond. He's got plenty of time with Martinez running, and that'll do it. But the Tigers score a run on a pair of hits. Castellanos scores the go-ahead run. Your WestJet dollars to over 450 partner destinations around the globe. Join today at westjet.com/rewards. Beautiful red-white bunting out in the WestJet flight deck, and a great place to hang out on a Monday afternoon. Been a great weekend for the fans and for the two ball clubs. Great atmosphere here at Rogers Center. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. takes the first pitch strike. He flied out to right field his first time up.
When he first came to the big leagues earlier this season, he was on fire. They were challenging him with fastballs, started turning him around, started hitting with a little bit of authority. Last couple of games, though, they started throwing him more off-speed pitches out of the strike zone. He was getting a little bit too wild.
Now time for a look at Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson.
Skyscraper, in theaters and Real D 3D July 13th.
Back to the top of the order. Curtis Granderson has scored the Blue Jays run here this afternoon. He was the first base runner for the Blue Jays. He had a 2-strike little roller up the third base line for the first base hit against Mike Fiers.
And a third baseman, Candelario's trying to get some instructions where to play him. Should I play out at the shortstop position, or should I come in and try and take that squib bunt away?
Anderson showed bunt, and it was a curveball, so he pulled the bat back quickly.
Curtis doesn't miss much, does he? He saw that Candelario was there, then started backing out. Said, I liked what happened that last time up and get an infield hit. Let me try it again.
He squared again, and you can see he was very deliberate in squaring around, and had it been a strike, he would have bunted it now, Candelario. He said, okay.
He has to.
Can't fool me again. I'm coming in. That's that cutter that missed down and in. 3-1 now to Granderson. Grichuk is on deck. He doubled his last time up. Fiers puts those secondary pitches in your mind just enough to keep you a little bit late on his fastball. Early on, it was all fastballs, and Buja trying to catch up to it, and they were just a bit behind. Now he's throwing a few more curveballs and cutters.
And fastballs, 90, 91 maybe? But everything's around the plate until then.
Check out the Beauty Tone Paint event on now through July 3rd, only at Home Hardware. Here's how.
The J. Happ bobblehead day, as J. Happ had the honor of taking a first pitch from his father, Jim, while Grandpa Jim was hanging on to JJ out on the mound. So the three generations of Happs participating in the ceremonial first pitch here this afternoon.
Mike Fiers is coming off a month in June where he made 5 starts for the Tigers and walked 8 batters. So he was upset with himself that he lost Granderson there, because he knows now if he gives up a home run, he'd be losing.
Fiers was named the Tigers pitcher of the month for June. He had a 1-2 record with a good ERA at 3.30. Opponents hit just .239 against him in the month. Oh, 2. Grichuk's double was on a 2-strike pitch in the 4th. His 11th double of the season. Check that is 9th double. He has 10 homers. Grichuk caught looking at that inside breaking ball. 4 strikeouts for Fiers.
First one looking for the Blue Jays. The danger of this slow curveball on the inner half is it can be a hanger, but there's so much break to it, it stays true and hits the inside corner. Front door breaking ball, that's danger pitch.
Yeah, that truly is a hanger, but it hung up so high that Grichuk couldn't offer at it. 2 outs now for Solarte. There's that first pitch curveball. Solarte was retired on a nice play by the shortstop Iglesias back in the 4th inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Little pop up behind shortstop. Iglesias made a running catch with his back to the infield. Solarte on the homestand coming into this game 3 for 11. He's now 3 for 13 on this homestand. He hasn't hit a home run since the 17th of June, and there's a hot shot that Goodwin playing in the outfield. Plays on a couple of hops, and Solarte is retired. Mike Fiers has 6 innings in the books, and he has a 2-1 lead. later on tonight, right here on Sportsnet. The Braves are in New York to take on the New York Yankees, and the Atlanta Braves, they just won't go away. They've won 3 in a row. They have a 3-game lead over second-place Philadelphia. And the Yankees, they have been up and down. They have scored an awful lot of runs lately. New York last night scored 11 runs against David Price and the Boston Red Sox. Ronald Acuna Jr. is back with the Atlanta Braves, a fine young outfield prospect. He's an interesting young player. We'll get a chance to see him next week down in Atlanta.
Yeah, we got the Mets coming into town, and then the Yankees, and then down to Atlanta. Lots of good young players we're going to see over the next 10 days or so.
7th inning. James McCann leads it off, taking a curveball for a strike. McCann is 0 for 2. One more thought about Ronald Acuna Jr. He's from Venezuela. He comes from a town called La Sabana, Venezuela. And he's part of a very rich baseball family that includes Kelvin Escobar, Alcides Escobar, Jose Escobar, who made it to the big leagues with the Indians in '91. And they're all cousins. And it's a tremendous story. Kelvin pitched in the big leagues, of course, with the Blue Jays. But Ronald Acuna Jr. is part of that family.
I can't wait to watch him. He was on the disabled list when we had that quick 2-game series here a couple of weeks ago. Speaking of young players, how about Borucki today?
He's been great. I'll tell you what, he could have caved in the first inning. He struck out the first batter of this ballgame, Mikey Matuk, and then gave up 4 straight singles and a run. Then he got a double play to end the first inning, and he really got on a roll. He has 8 strikeouts through 6 innings. He's just been terrific. Full count now. McCann, as we mentioned, double play and a strikeout.
I'd like to see him finish up strong. You know, walk off with your team after this inning. Probably going to be his last inning as he's getting up there in pitches, and the Blue Jays have some action in the pen. That's Joe Biagini starting to warm up. But finish the inning and walk off with your team.
Plus, and John Gibbons knows if Borucki has a chance to finish this inning, then there's the possibility of a tie game, maybe even give him the lead. Bailey pounds in mitt in frustration. It went off the end of his glove. Could have been a strikeout if he could have come up with the foul tip. Didn't have much of a chance to catch that one, but still catchers think about it all the time. Man, if I could have just got that foul tip, we'd be 1 out closer to the end. Off the end of the bat, Gurriel waits for it and fires to first. 1 away.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Brad Borucki in his second big league start. Again, impressive. No walks, 8 strikeouts. He has allowed 2 earned runs.
He did that a lot today. Strike 1.
88 pitches, just 26 balls thrown by Ryan. Breaking ball. Now that's interesting. The umpire didn't call foul until after the hitter reacted to it, but Nick Lentz, the home plate umpire, walked out in front of home plate after Solarte had fielded it. It was really kind of a curious timing situation.
Slow curveball. That looked like it went right off the front of his foot.
1-2 now. Nico Goodrum had a 4-hit game yesterday, 4 for 4, first time in his career at a 4-hit game. Big second hop for Diaz. Two away.
He also scored 3 runs yesterday, which was a career high. Bottom of the order really did some damage against the Blue Jays in yesterday's ball game. Ryan Borucki today has handled the bottom of the order.
So the Tigers shortstop, Jose Iglesias, he's 0 for 2 so far. Iglesias shows bunts at it, but right through it. Iglesias and Diaz, the Blue Jays shortstop, they played in that tournament we talked about yesterday in 2008 in Edmonton. It was a World Junior Under-18 World Cup. Iglesias was the shortstop. Diaz was the second baseman. And they played on the Cuban team. And Diaz told us today, he said, man, the best player in the tournament was this catcher for Canada.
Who could do it all, he said.
He said he could do it all. He could run, he could throw, he could hit. He said he was by far the best player in the tournament. They had Yasiel Puig on their team. But that Canadian catcher was Brett Laurie. But Diaz and Iglesias, they were teammates. And as we mentioned yesterday on Canada Day, Iglesias defected from the team there and sought asylum in the United States. He walked across the border in Montana. 2-2, 2 away. He gets a piece of it. As you mentioned last time when Iglesias struck out, he's tough to strike out.
Yeah, he's got a very low chase rate. Doesn't chase too many pitches outside the strike zone, and a very high contact rate where he puts the bat on the ball. Tough to strike him out. He's only struck out now 33 times this season.
Popped this one up to his former teammate, Aledmus Diaz and Borucki. 7 innings in the book for the first time in his young career, but he trails 2-1. Ray Borucki and his wife Jackie have enjoyed their son's outing here this afternoon. Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. 2-1 Tigers lead it. There's a leadoff base hit by Teoscar Hernandez. That's just the 3rd hit for the Blue Jays this afternoon.
Looked like he tried to throw him a cutter on the first pitch, but he didn't get it where he needed to. Cutter went right to the barrel of Teoscar Hernandez, and Teoscar, he's got a few extra base hits in his bat. There's the cutter right to the bat. Almost gets it off the end of the bat, but he's strong enough to get it into the outfield. Good start here in the 7th.
Here's Kendrys Morales. He has grounded out both times to the second baseman who was playing in the shift, and now with the runner at first, they can't play that exaggerated shift. Goodrum is back on the infield dirt. See Iglesias almost straight behind the bag at second. Boy, that was close. A little bit too close. Fiers is quick.
Yeah, very quick. I don't think he's running in this situation. So if you're not, you cannot get picked off. He threw at the right time. Right when Teoscar was taking that last step with his right foot, like he was lunging towards second base, that's when he fired over there.
Fly ball, not deep. Jacoby Jones ranging to his right.
At the Honda checkered flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Senwano loosening up. Borucki, 7 innings. No walks, 8 strikeouts, but he's trailing 2-1. Kevin Pilar 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He pops it up on the infield. Hicks, the first baseman, calls for it. And after the leadoff single, 2 quick outs for Fiers.
They know he's going to be around the plate. He's only thrown 71 pitches now. There's 2 outs in the 7th inning. But the Blue Jays timing, it's just off right now. He's throwing what we call just under the hitting speed. Where you're out front, you see fastball, you're out front, and he's got a lot of pop-ups and lazy fly balls.
Fiers making his 16th start of the season. He's pitched 7 innings just twice this year. Edmus Diaz goes after the first pitch, and Fiers cut that fastball that time. He knew he was looking for that first pitch heater. Diaz just missed a home run back in the 5th inning. Got jammed a bit and flying out up against the wall in left.
The idea of the cutter is to throw it to fastball hitting types of players on that first pitch, and maybe they mishit it. Hit it off the barrel.
Fouled off. Fiers ahead 0-2. One and two now with Hernandez at first. Teoscar has 3 steals, but he's been caught 4 times. But it makes sense here with 2 outs, trying to get him into scoring position. Fiers more than likely will throw a breaking ball on this 1-2 pitch.
Yeah, if it's a slow curveball and it's a ball, he has a better chance. A little bit more of aggressive lead.
There he goes. Foul back. Hernandez was running on the pitch, but with 2 strikes, he has had to protect the plate. Not running here. Another foul back. Diaz came into this game batting .246. And his average up after getting off to a slow start. Spent some time on the disabled list.
He doesn't walk that much. I mean, he's up there to swing. Look for something out over the plate. You need an extra base hit here.
A ball and 2 strikes. There goes the runner. Ground ball to third. That's a fair ball. Candelario just in time. Out by half a step at first. The Blue Jays get a leadoff single and can't do anything with it. Diaz hustled down the line. He made it close. The Blue Jays are thinking about challenging this call at first base. It was bang bang for sure. Fiers is still on the field. And the Blue Jays will concede the third out. We've played 7. Mike Fiers and the Tigers have the lead. Here comes Joe Biagini. The 7 innings.
Yeah, in the first inning, he gave up 4 straight hits. P. Walker came out to talk to him. He retired 13 in a row after that. Fastball had some movement. He was putting it where he needed to. Started using the breaking ball just a little bit more. To force the changeup. Mom and Dad like it. The wave, and there's the handshake from the skipper. He likes it also. All told, 7 very good innings for Ryan Borucki with a career-high 8 strikeouts and impressively no walks.
No walks at all, and he never really caved in when he had a chance to in the first inning. He got a double play to get out of that first inning. He gave up a run on a fielder's choice in the 6th. That's the difference in the game, and now over to the Blue Jays bullpen.
Yeah, and the Tigers, #1 in the American League, hitting against left-handed starters today. Joe Biagini will take over, and Joe has been much better since they have transitioned him back into the bullpen, where he comes in for an inning and then just pounds that strike zone with everything that he has. Last time out against Detroit a couple of days ago, it took him just 16 pitches to get through an inning. He gave up a couple of soft hits, but he will get the chance now in the 8th inning.
It'll be 9-1-2 for Detroit. Jones, Matuk, and Castellanos. 2-1 Tigers lead it. Jacoby Jones struck out twice against Borucki. Biagini, since he has transitioned back to the bullpen, that low fastball strike has been really a good pitch for him.
He doesn't have to work as a starter. Okay, I got to get my 4 pitches and I got to work him in there. He can just attack the strike zone with his pitches. When he does that, I just think he seems to be so much better.
Bunt to third base. Solarte had a little bit of a trouble getting it up, but he's got time to throw out Jones. Quick turnaround. Quick timeout for Marvel Studios, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
There is another person I can think of.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
One away for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 8th. Back to the top of the order. Mikey Matuk had an infield single and a swinging bunt in the 6th. He, like Jones, struck out twice against Borucki this afternoon. Matuk just recalled from AAA Buffalo as they put Leonis Martin, their regular center fielder, on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. Big hop for Diaz. It's short. Hopchuk is retired. 2 up, 2 down for the Tigers here in the 8th.
This is the Joe Biagini we saw a couple of years ago when he was a Rule 5 draft pick. Hey, let me come in, give me an inning, maybe 2. Don't think too much about pitching. You know, like a starter, you got to work 3 times through the lineup. Would be preferable. But as a reliever, come in, he can cut the ball, sink the ball if he needs to. He's got a nice overhand curveball, but fill up that strike zone.
Here is Castellanos, and you got to be careful with him. He has scored both of the Tiger runs here this afternoon. Little roller to third. Good inning for Joe Biagini. Just 6 pitches. Retires the side in order. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Camp with Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Beautiful afternoon as the Tabler yacht is parked on the shores of Lake Ontario this afternoon. That's a nice little boat you got.
Yeah, you wanted to borrow that today, didn't you, after the game?
You gave me the keys earlier. Luke Maile takes the first pitch strike as Mike Fiers has held the Blue Jays to a run on 3 hits through 7 innings. Ground ball, big hop for Candelario at third. 7 1/3 for Fiers. This is his longest outing of the season.
Last time out, he was really good. 7 innings. He gave up just 1 earned run, but still lost. His team was shut out in Oakland. It's on a nice little roll right now. In fact, his team has been shut out his last 2 times he has started. Won't have to take it himself today, it looks like.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. takes the first pitch curveball. Fiers has only thrown 80 pitches. His first 3 innings using the fastball, he retired all 9 batters he faced. He threw 6 pitches, 9 pitches, and 6 pitches. 21 pitches through 3 innings, and that set him up well to be pitching here in the 8th.
He had a 1-2-3 5th inning, had a walk, but then retired everybody else in the 6th.
It's off the end of the bat, just foul. Remember earlier in the game, Kevin Pilar cued one off the end of the bat in the second inning, and it just rolled up the first base line in fair territory. But Can came out behind the plate and made the play on Pilar, but he's been able to move that ball ever so slightly and get it off the barrel of these Blue Jay bats. Odd shot, but right to Goodrum at second.
Check out the Beauty Tone Paint event on now through July 3rd, only at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Joe Biagini had a 6-pitch inning. Tyler Clippert loosening up to come on for the ninth. Biagini certainly capable of going back out for the ninth. Clippert, I would imagine if they happen to take the lead, maybe Biagini stays in the game if they don't.
You know, you were mentioning the low pitch count for Mike Fiers this afternoon. That is a good thing for the Tigers because they had to put their closer on the DL this morning.
Shane Green went on the DL.
So if Ron Gardenhire is thinking about who's going to finish out this game, he might let him try and go the distance with their closer now on the disabled list.
Fastball upstairs. Gardenhire, in his first season managing the Tigers, he had a great run in Minnesota. The skipper of the Twins. Outside. Granderson drew a walk in the sixth, the only batter that Fiers has walked this afternoon. Curveball stayed upstairs. That will happen later in a game when a pitcher starts to lose his legs. Didn't drive through that delivery and didn't have the late break that he had earlier.
To finish his pitch, he missed him last time with a 3-2 cutter. Let's see what he goes this time.
Fiers with a big strikeout. Slaps the glove as he's got 8 innings in the book. 89 pitches for Mike Fiers, and he has a 2-1 lead. Star lineup.
It could have gotten really bad in the first inning for Ryan Borucki. After 1 out, a soft single to right field by Castellanos, another one to center field. This one off the end of the bat softly into left field and then into right field. 4 straight hits by the Tigers. Plating run in the first inning. But from there, Ryan Borucki settled down. Those are our drives of the game. Those 4 singles set the tone. He only gave up 2 hits the rest of the way, one of them an infield hit. But he is on the hook right now as the Blue Jays find themselves behind Tyler Clippert into the game now for the 42nd time this season. What a great first half he's put together. 4-2, 320 earned run average. Looks like he's going to be closing games for the Blue Jays, or one of the closers, after Ryan Tepera was put on the disabled list.
Clippert is tied for second with those 42 appearances. Edwin Diaz of the Mariners has appeared in 44 games. He's the only pitcher that has made more appearances than Clippert. Ball on a strike to Jeimer Candelario. Two and one now. Mike Fiers with 8 innings. It's just the 4th time in his career he's pitched 8 innings or more in a game. He has 1 career complete game. That was his no-hitter back in 2015 against the Dodgers. Joe Jimenez gave up the walk-off home run to Smoke on Saturday afternoon. That was a 9th inning walk-off home run, and
so you said
Zimmerman pitched well yesterday, and Fiers has followed suit.
4 times in his career he's thrown 8 innings, and one of them was no-no.
Yep.
Jordan Zimmerman was very good yesterday. Mike Fiers even better today.
Zimmerman, he has a no-hitter as well. Threw a no-hitter for the Nationals. Steven Souza Jr. made that game-saving no-hitter catch, and there's a base hit through the shift on the left side. Candelario has his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
Tyler thought he got a ground ball to the shortstop on the splitter, but then looks back and says, nope, they're in the shift. Thought I had my shortstop there, but it's a leadoff single.
So Candelario 3 for 4 this afternoon. He was 0 for 5 yesterday with 3 strikeouts, and he grounded into a double play. High fly ball down the right field line. Long run for everybody, and Morales, he can't make the play. Kind of reached for it as Gurriel couldn't get there. Grichuk had no chance.
Made a play.
Hicks will have another chance.
Yeah, he made a play, Kendrys, earlier this game. This one a little bit harder because he's holding the guy at first base. So he bounces off, then he has to bounce around the runner. Gurriel looked like he wanted to call that ball, but then let Morales, you see him looking for it. That's where he's got to take control and said, this is my ball. A little bit tougher play for the first baseman.
Oh, 0-2. Up and in. The scoring play on that last pop foul, Morales was charged with an error. I don't agree with that at all.
No.
He was holding a runner on at first. He had to turn, and he was looking up over his shoulder, running away from the diamond, and he never got a glove on it.
He made an extra effort to go and get it and never touched it. I don't know how you can give a guy an error for effort.
2-2 now to John Hicks, the first baseman. Tyler Clippert came into the game this inning Joe Biagini retired the side on 3 ground ball outs in the 8th.
Ooh. That was a splitter that Hicks got a piece of and fouled it off of Maley. This is the second time today that Luke has been hit hard.
Hicks, the batter, he too is a catcher, so he can understand what Maley's going through right now, so everybody's giving him a little bit extra time.
Right off the leg.
Might have hit him right off the top of the foot, huh? Catchers with these shin guards now have that extra flap that extends ideally over the toes, but not often. They're really protected. Ground ball pulled foul. That's what Clippard's looking for, is a ground ball in this situation. There you see that extra flap that's been added to the catcher's equipment. It extends way down, and you see when he's in his crouch, it extends over the toes. It's designed well, but oftentimes somehow it misses that shin guard.
Rifles the ball. He knows that Clip's got that splitter and a great changeup with 2 strikes. He's got it on the back of his mind. A little bit tardy on that fastball.
Top of the 9th inning, the Tigers have a 2-1 lead. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 7-3. Another ground ball foul.
What an at-bat for Hicks. Get some extra swings on that ball that Blue Jays couldn't come up with down the right field line.
Hicks had a similar at bat like this against O in Detroit back on the 2nd of June, where he fouled off several pitches and ended up getting a little looping line drive into center for a 2-run single. He had many foul backs and just came up with a big hit. Part of a 3-run inning that broke a 4-4 tie in that 8th inning.
Game winner. Look at where all those pitches are on PitchCast, all over the place. A couple of change-ups. We've seen some splitters all over. And right now, this is pitch number 10.
7 foul balls in this at bat. Pop up behind second. Gurriel going out. He gets there and makes the catch. Well, the Blue Jays will be right back in action tomorrow night, and the New York Mets with Jose Bautista will be back here to take on Marco Estrada. It all starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show, 3:30 Pacific Time. Marco Estrada has been throwing the ball very well lately. Estrada really healthy and pitching like he has the last couple of years here. They'll go up against the Mets as Jose Bautista makes his return to Rogers Center.
Second time that we have faced the Mets this year. We had that 2-game series in New York, split those 2 games.
Victor Martinez had the RBI single in the first inning. John Hicks has the go-ahead RBI. He had an RBI fielder's choice in the 6th. That's the difference in this game. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, Randal Grichuk Enerva Solarte and Teoscar Hernandez, the scheduled batters. And remember, of course, the Blue Jays have Justin Smoke on the bench.
Yeah, they've got Jimenez warming up. I don't know how Ron Gardenhire is going to play it, if he's going to send a starter back out there or try and finish it off with a reliever.
Snap throw to first as Bailey made a good strong throw, but Candelario is back ahead of the throw.
Any way you can help out your pitcher to get outs on the bases. He threw a couple of runners out the other day trying to steal to help his starter. That time he tried to help out Clippard picking off the runner.
He threw out Candelario at second base in the first inning of the game on Saturday. Martinez late on that fastball. Tyler Clippard with a 2-2 count. The extended at bat by John Hicks has pushed the pitch count to 20 in this inning.
It also has pushed Jake Petrichka to the mound out in the bullpen. He is up throwing right now.
Bounced and blocked by Maley. Three and two. It might start to runner here, given the fact Martinez doesn't run well at all. If he hits on the ground, it's going to be a double play.
They are trying to get an add-on run. He's got to start that runner over at first base. Nick's a good hitter who's been in a little bit of a slump lately, but he's banking on him making contact.
There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. Strong throw to second in plenty of time. Luke Maley with the strikeout throw him out double play. Second double play turned by the Blue Jays, and that'll keep it a one-run game. Maley has thrown the ball very well. Third base runner he's caught in this series. Candelario for a second time.
At 6, the first 20,000 fans will receive this Blue Jays bucket hat. Then join us in the WestJet flight deck for live music and entertainment. Watch your Blue Jays take on the New York Yankees at 7:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. To the bottom of the ninth we go, back up to the booth, and Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Hazel, as we have a new pitcher for the Tigers, Joe Jimenez, who was the losing pitcher on Saturday when Justin Smoke hit the walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Big fastball that was turned around by Smokey to give him his only loss of the season. Still ERA under 3 for Jimenez. Again, Shane Green on the DL today. Their closer with some shoulder problems. Jimenez trying to close it out.
Brando Grichuk had a good cut at that fastball. Blue Jays against Fiers. Just 1 run on 3 hits. Grichuk had one of those hits, a double, in the 4th inning that contributed to the Blue Jays run. Checked his swing. No, he didn't, according to Mark Carlson down at first.
That's a hard slider after a pretty good fastball. That's what Jimenez features. Fastball, slider, occasional change, and yes, he did go a little bit too far.
Fastball at 97 for the strikeout. Mike Fiers, very impressive this afternoon. 8 innings, 1 run on 3 hits. He walked the batter and struck out 5. He threw just 89 pitches. Just the 4th time in his career he's pitched 8 or more innings in a game.
Boy, he was filling up the zone today with that 4-seam fastball and started to float a curveball in there. Just 5 strikeouts, but 8 very good innings after Jordan Zimmerman yesterday.
Fiers threw 25 first pitch strikes out of 28 first pitches. He set that tone early. He retired the first 9 men he faced this afternoon and did it on 21 pitches. And Ervis Solarte takes a pitch outside. 2-0.
He will supply the power with that big fastball. You just concentrate on trying to get that bat started and catch it out in front.
And right back to the same pitch. Now it's 2-1. Well, he's got a good arm. He just happened to throw one the big part of the plate to Smoke on Saturday, and Smoke hit a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 9th to end it.
He was signed as a non-drafted free agent out of Puerto Rico's Baseball Academy in 2013.
Off the plate.
That's an easy sign when you see a guy this size throwing this hard. He was just 18 years old when they signed him.
Solarte had a pretty good cut at that fastball. Solarte hasn't homered since he homered against Washington back in June. That home run was on the 17th of June against the Nationals. He's trying to hit another one.
Yeah, and he keeps getting fastballs. I think they're afraid to throw the breaking ball because that's how you speed a guy's bat up, and that's when you catch it out in front. He's having a hard time right now catching up to that fastball. So Jimenez keeps pumping it in there.
Threw him a changeup and walked him. That makes no sense at all.
Your third best pitch. You throw 97, he's not getting around on it. You throw him your third best pitch and you end up walking him. Pinch runner now for Solarte.
Devin Travis will enter the game as a pinch runner representing the tying run. Teoscar Hernandez, he has driven in the only Blue Jay run this afternoon. First pitch breaking ball for ball one. Boy, Teoscar's got to be zeroed in on a fastball and just say, okay, I'm going to sell out to the fastball, but you just got to make sure it's a good pitch.
Yeah, and you can do that early in the count if you want to. 54% of his hits this year have been extra bases, and that's what they need. An extra base hit.
Off the plate. That's a good pitch. 97 down and away. 2-1 now. Eston Smoke did not start in this game. He is on the bench. Got his batting gloves on. Got his bat in hand, just in case.
Yeah, you can tell he's got a little lather working right now, that he was underneath the stands getting some swings in, just in case he's called upon.
Off the plate. McCann trying to sell it to the umpire, Nick Lentz, but he wouldn't buy it. 3-1 now. Well, it just makes you wonder why in the world they threw that changeup to Solarte. Get a good pitch. Swinging a drive to the alley and left. Get up, ball, get up. Off the wall. Travis is going to be stopped at third as they got the ball in quickly. Matuk played it very well right to Iglesias, the shortstop, and Luis Rivera had to stop Travis at third. Another extra base hit for Hernandez.
That changeup seems to have thrown his rhythm and timing off. He ends up walking him, falls behind Teoscar Hernandez. 3-1. He's got to give him a fastball right down the middle. And the harder the better. He loves fastballs. Teoscar turns on it. That is a laser to left field. Travis got a good read on it, and a great play by Mikey Matuk off the base of the wall right to the cutoff man. And you're right, they had to hold that runner. Travis got a great read off the bat. He knew that was extra bases. So they had to hold him up, and now decisions, what are they going to do? They're going to walk Morales to set up the double play.
Yeah, it was interesting. They were looking into the dugout, and Gardner seemed to be worried about something else at that time. They now walk Morales. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, will come out to have a chat with Jimenez. Oh boy, you got to go back to that ball four to Solarte. It was a changeup, his third best pitch, and they walked him. And then Teoscar chases the pinch runner, Travis, from first to third, and then they walk Morales to load the bases.
And that intentional walk, I think, guarantees a chance for Smoke, who's going to come out on deck.
So Pilar's the hitter. Blue Jays trailed by a run. At 29,575 here at Rogers Center for this holiday Monday. Pilar can win it. First pitch strike with the fastball.
I think the message was pretty simple from Rick Anderson, the pitching coach of the Tigers. If you're going to get beat with your best pitch. He came right after Pilar with that fastball.
'96 fouled off the catcher's mask. James McCann Checking everything, make sure it's all intact. So Pilar behind now 0-2. You really got a battle here. The infield for the Tigers, they're in it to corners, double play depth up the middle. Travis at third, Hernandez at second, Morales at first. Pilar hits it to the outfield, not deep. Travis is tagging. He'll come home and he'll stop as Macho gets it in quickly. So Justin Smoke, he'll come to the plate as a pinch hitter. He had a big swing on Saturday.
It was a fastball that he's going to turn around about thigh high, and that was no doubt about it. That was the game winner for the Blue Jays, and here we are on Monday. Smoke getting another chance to win it for the Blue Jays.
Smoke batting for Ledmus Diaz, the shortstop. Smoke with 2 career walk-off home runs. The Blue Jays have had 6 walk-off wins this season. Country hardball there.
Power versus power. Power pitcher, power hitter. He wasn't trying to hit a soft single to left field.
Ball on the strike. I think you're right on the money. Rick Anderson's message was, hey man, the game's on the line. You throw 97, let's go.
Yeah, no messing around. Use your best pitch. If you get beat with it, you get beat with it.
Changeup bounced in the dirt.
Smoke is not a free swinger. He doesn't offer at that.
So now he's got to go back to the fastball. And Smoke knows it. Fouled it back. The Blue Jays are 11-10 in 1-run games. That was a pretty good pitch. So it's 3-2, 2 outs. The game on the line with Justin Smoke at the plate. He walked it. A bases loaded walk, and it's time. Justin Smoke, Pat, you mentioned he's not a free swinger.
That's why that changeup didn't make any sense, because he is not going to swing at that ball if it's off the plate. He's just not. Blue Jays have fought back to tie. Now can they win it?
Mike Fiers, 8 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, a no decision. Luke Maile. Maile's had some big hits this season. Ground ball. They'll go to second, and we'll go to extras. But 2 walks in the 9th inning by Joe Menace, and the Blue Jays have tied it up. It's 2-2 as we go to the 10th. Make his 40th appearance here this afternoon. He's got a very good record. ERA at 3.05 and a 4-2 win-loss record.
Yeah, and that 4th win was the Justin Smoke walk-off home run the other day. He was the pitcher of record in that one to get him to 4 wins. His fastball's been better. His breaking ball has been better. Now he gets a chance to possibly win another game against the Tigers. Lots more changes for the Blue Jays as we head to the 10th.
Justin Smoke hit for the shortstop Elvis Diaz, but he stays into the game defensively. You also keep his bat in the lineup. Devin Travis was a pinch runner for Solarte, so he stays in the game defensively at second. And the first baseman, Kendrys Morales, plays third base for the first time in his career. Lourdes Gurriel started at second. He moves from second to shortstop, so a lot of changes. There's Gurriel. He's at short as Diaz is out of the game. James McCann. He's 0 for 3. Well, what a comeback for the Blue Jays. They get a run on 1 hit and 3 walks in the inning. A bases loaded walk to Justin Smoke, the pinch hitter. Oh, slider has been great lately.
A lot more depth to it and a lot better location with that slider. It's where he's been picking up all those strikeouts.
Jam shot and a little bit of miscommunication as Morales came over from third, but Gurriel was never distracted. Morales cut in front of the shortstop. Gurriel is a natural shortstop, and he looked like it on that play.
Yeah, he called him off. You could hear him saying, I got it. Much easier play for Gurriel, a natural infielder. On that side of the diamond, he calls off Morales, takes it himself, and gets the first out. Kendrys, you mentioned he's never played third base.
Gurriel is a heck of an athlete, and he's just learning his trade here in the big leagues, but he's very comfortable at shortstop. We saw him kind of make a misplay earlier in the game on a fielder's choice off the bat of Castellanos. He laid back on a potential double play ball, and that would lead to a second run for the Tigers. But you put him at shortstop, and he looks right at home.
That's his natural position. Says he prefers that, feels a little bit more comfortable, but he can play second.
He can really play second, too. He's going to be fine no matter where they put him. Nico Goodrum 0 for 3. 2-2 now. Well, the Blue Jays have had a real good run here at home of late. Coming into this game, they've won 10 of their last 12 home games. Downstairs, it's a full count. The Blue Jays at home this season, 22-21.
And they're really good in extra innings this season, the Blue Jays.
Broken bat, that's going to get up the alley. Goodwin can run. He is on his way toward third. Richard plays it back in, and the throw to third is not in time.
He had a career day yesterday with 4 hits and 3 runs scored for the Tigers as they won that game 9-1. And now squares up a ball and splits the outfield in right center field. Outfield was playing deep, trying to cut the ball off, but it's hit too hard by Goodrum. And the key to that, watch it hit against that auxiliary scoreboard and just stay right there. Grichuk has to take another 2 steps to go get the ball, and by that time, Goodrum makes it to third base.
Goodrum's second triple of the season. Sounded like he hit it toward the end of the bat, but it really carried off the bat all the way to the wall. Jose Iglesias, tough guy to strike out. The infield is in. Popped him up. Grichuk, he's deep. Tagging at third is Goodrum. Grichuk's throw toward the plate. It's a strong throw, but up the line, and the Tigers take the lead. Jose Iglesias hits a sac fly to right.
Yeah, anything can happen with Iglesias at the plate. He can handle that bat, but they let him swing away on that first pitch and hits it deep enough to right field to score Goodrum. Goodrum had just gone all the way home to third, so you know he's out of breath just a little bit. He catches his breath in time to do this. It's going to be a close play at the plate. It's a hard slide at the plate. Bam, he hits the dirt, but scores the run. Now he can go down on that bench and sit down and catch his breath.
So the Tigers lead it 3-2. Goodrum with a 1-out triple comes in to score the go-ahead run. Scored 3 runs in the game yesterday. Jacoby Jones is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Well, the Blue Jays are going to have to play catch up again. They scored a run in the 9th to tie it. They're going to have to score another in the 10th. And Buck Farmer loosening up for the Tigers. Farmer pitched on Friday night. Threw 29 pitches in 1 inning. Good fastball, strikes him out. But the Tigers take advantage of the 1-out triple. Jose Iglesias drives home Nico Goodrum from third base. Detroit has a 3-2 lead. pitcher for the Tigers trying to protect his one-run lead is Buck Farmer, who's making his 40th appearance of the season.
And one of those appearances was against the Blue Jays the other night. He threw an inning, gave up a hit, a walk, took 29 pitches to get through that inning, but he was unscored upon that night. Overall, he's 3-3 with a 474 earned run average. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 9 appearances. So he will be called upon, excuse me, Buck, to save this game now for the Tigers. He doesn't have a save opportunity this year.
Otis Gurriel Jr. goes after the first pitch. Gurriel is 0 for 3 in his return from AAA Buffalo. Outside. Farmer's had some problems retiring the first batters he's faced. He's retired his 27 of 39. That's big here in extra innings for the Blue Jays. Ground ball up the middle, through for a base hit. Again, that first batter reaches against Buck Farmer.
Just out of the reach of the second baseman, Goodrum. He's done everything today to help this team win, but he just can't come up with it. Right over the bag, and he almost gets to it. Good start for the Jays once again. He's got to come with the fastball, and he's got a good one right over the mound, right over the bag. Watch this one and how close Goodrum gets to it. Almost.
Well, Ron Gardenhire, the manager, has come out of the dugout. He's made a pitching change. Farmer, again, having trouble with that first batter he reaches. Curtis Granderson is the batter. Blaine Hardy, the lefty, coming in. Nobody out. Farmer's out of the game. Blaine Hardy comes in, lefty on lefty, with Granderson the scheduled batter.
Yeah, 14 games this year for Blaine Hardy, 8 of those as a starter, but they moved him back into the bullpen right now. One of 2 lefties for Ron Gardenhire out of that bullpen. 351 earned run average, and lots of moving parts now with that first runner on base and a left-handed batter at the plate for the Blue Jays.
Candelaria, the third baseman, is well in front of the bag, anticipating the bunt. Granderson squares and bunts it up the first baseline. Hardy throws him out. That's just the second sacrifice bunt by the Blue Jays all season long. But what it does is it gives you 2 right-handers, Grichuk and Travis, to take a whack at Blaine Hardy.
Excellent job by Granderson. He squared around early. He bunted the ball up the first base side. And you're right. The Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position. You got to tie it before you can win it at home.
Brandon Grichuk is 1 for 4. Off-speed pitch for a strike. Hardy made a start against the Blue Jays on Friday, June 1st. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. He walked 4. 2-1 now.
He's being very careful with Grichuk. He knows one bad pitch and the game's over. He's got that kind of power. You also have first base open.
Popped up over the Tigers dugout, and that will be out of play. Defensively, the Tigers have lost their best thrower from the outfield in Leonis Martin. He's on the DL. Castellanos has a strong arm. He brought a base runner into this series. John Axford getting loose. Hopeful of a tie game at least. Grichuk strikes out, 2 away.
An elevated pitch up and out of the strike zone. Fastball slider. That looks like the cutter slash slider from Hardy to pick up the strikeout. Now with 2 outs. The outfield can come in just a little bit. They don't have to worry about extra bases. You're trying to win the game now just in case there's a ball in the outfield.
Kevin Travis entered the game as a pinch runner. Takes a first pitch strike from Hardy. Travis, a .228 hitter for the season. Right fielder Castellanos really shaded over toward the foul line in right. Ground ball right to Hicks, and that will do it. Travis grounds out to end the ball game. The Tigers win it 3-2 in 10 innings. As they come back after giving up the tying run in the 9th. Nico Goodrum with a big triple. Iglesias with the sac fly.
Yeah, but let's don't forget about the excellent effort by Ryan Borucki, who started this game for the Blue Jays. 7 innings, just 2 earned runs. The bullpen did its job until they gave up that run in the top of the 10th inning. Blue Jays lose another 1-run game, and they fall to 2-22 when they don't homer. So they got to figure out ways to score runs when they can't hit home runs.
The Blue Jays will pick up action tomorrow night against the New York Mets. Jose Bautista will be here in Rogers Center. Now time for the Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie Campbell, Joe Siddle, and Cliff Floyd. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day.